APNvideo.com is on the air, and we're coming to you from the winter home of the Cleveland Indians and the Cincinnati Reds. Goodyear Baseball Park in Arizona for the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. A pair of 3-win, 1-loss teams, Motor City Firebirds, Auburn Braves, draw the battle lines here today. And I'm Jeff Lowry with APNvideo.com. Our game today dedicated to Joe Pistono, who passed away this year and remembered by many of his teammates, including Bob Hoffman, who we'll be talking to here in just a moment. The Brain Trust, led by Mike Giuliano and Rick Green. All right, Bob Hoffman joins me now here. We're turfside at Goodyear Ballpark, the winter home of the Reds and the Indians. Bob, boy, after the crazy times we've had in this country the last 6 months, what does it feel like to be out here at Goodyear Ballpark?
It feels fantastic. It's a sense of, it gives you a little bit of sense of normalcy, and it's always great to get out with, with the folks that you play with all year, get a chance to maybe play with some guys that you haven't played with in the past, and just it's all about relationships.
Talk about Joe for a moment.
Joe Pistono, he's a great guy. We played ball against him for 26 years, never had the pleasure of playing on the same team, but he was just a super guy, and he was one of these guys who always excelled, and he played the game at a level that was well above, or I guess lower than his years, In other words, he was a guy that was in his 60s that made the All-Star team in the 18 and over league, so just a super guy.
Well, I know he's very well missed by everyone, and talk about this Motor City team for a moment. You're off to a 3-1 start, tough time this morning, but overall, what do you think of the makeup of this club?
Yeah, I love the makeup. It's great chemistry, fantastic chemistry, really great friends. Yeah, it's really strange so far. It's been almost a tale of two tournaments. The first 2 days we could do no wrong, and this morning we could do no right. So we had one really bad inning, gave up 11 runs in the first inning. Basically won the game from that point on out, but the hole we had dug for ourselves was just too deep.
Well, if you get a victory here today against Auburn, I know they usually bring out good clubs. You're probably in the playoffs and sitting pretty good. So
yeah, that's the hope. Yep, for sure.
Okay, well, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Jeff. Yep.
All right, Bob Hoffman, thank you very much. We're getting set to go. The Auburn Braves will take the field, led by their starting pitcher, Rob Wooden, the veteran right-hander, 55 and over Cactus Division. And the first pitch of the contest is in there for a called strike, and this game is underway. Joe Bottorff will start it off, and a special thanks to him for help setting up today's broadcast. He swings and pops it up. That's going to be back and out of play. Actually, it's going to land right in front of the backstop. So Joe Bottorff, Doug Harmon, the shortstop, and Tony Escamilla will be the first three here for the Motor City out of Detroit, Michigan Firebirds. Many of these guys also played for the Great Lakes Tigers. And Ron Ellswick's team wasn't able to come out this year, probably due to some complications of COVID. Here's a little short ball out in front of the plate. Nice job by the catcher, who throws on to first base, and there's one down. So an excellent play by the catcher, Scott Reeves. One up and one down, and the batter's going to be Doug Harmon. First pitch by Rob Wooden is in there for a called strike. As we mentioned, Mike Giuliano and Rick Green, the Brain Trust, the co-managers of this Motor City team. Here's a smash foul, quickly 0-2 on Doug Harmon. Second baseman Tony Escamilla on deck, and if you're wondering who's the starting pitcher today for the Firebirds, it's going to be the talented Enrique Borboa. No score, second batter up. One out, nobody on. Doug Harmon at the plate. Slick fielding shortstop for the Motor City Firebirds. And here is a chopper towards the hole, and that's going to be knocked down, but I don't think really much of a chance to come up with an out at first base, so that'll go for a infield hit by Doug Harmon. Next up is Tony Escamilla. One of the veteran second basemen on this team. He bounces one to shortstop, and the underhanded flip is misplayed out there by the second baseman. Not sure what happened there with Taylor Wells. And all hands are going to be safe, and I don't know if I almost give the error to the shortstop because, to be quite honest with you, it was not a very good throw. Even though it got there, I don't think you got to give a little bit more of a firm throw. So an error has been charged to the shortstop. Runners are at first and second with one out here in the top of the first inning. And now Bob Escamilla pops it up, and the shortstop's got it. Nice catch in the hole. 2 down. That'll bring up Dean Christie. So 2 out and 2 on. First pitch called strike, and it's 0-1. The count on the 5th place hitter in the lineup for the Firebirds, Dean Christie. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike on the 5th place hitter in the lineup for Motor City. No score. We're in the top of the first inning. And the next pitch, a slow one. 1-2 now on Christie. High and tight, that evens the count at 2-2, and the ball gets thrown away, and that's going to allow the runner from second to move to third. So first and third, Doug Harmon is at third base. And let's see if Christie can come through. The pitch is popped up and out of play. And another 2-strike pitch coming up here is Robert Wooden on the mound here for the Auburn Braves. Two of the teams that are favored to go all the way. And this one is popped up, and the first baseman right up along the railing with the mask on makes the catch. That'll retire the side. No runs, 2 left after a half an inning of play. Motor City nothing. You're getting a look at Enrique Borboa. First up is going to be Dan Pearson. Leadoff hitter, followed by Taylor Wells and Dave Ingringham. Going up against the southpawer Enrique Borboa. The interesting thing about Auburn, we didn't have time to talk about at the top of the broadcast, is this team has been very stingy in the amount of runs they have given up. Now, they're coming off a big victory over the Houston Skeeters, a game in which they won 20-2. They lost to the Old Stars 3-1. As this one is slapped to Harmon at shortstop, and he gets his man at first base, 1 up and 1 down for Taylor Wells, the second baseman. He swings and lifts one into right center field, and that ball's going to drop in for the first hit of the ball game for the Auburn Braves. Dave Everingham will now dig in from the left side or the right side of the batter's box with a runner at first and 1 out. We're in the home half of the first. But this Auburn team has given up only 12 runs through their first 4 games. Now, it's kind of a rarity at the MSBL World Series that you will see a team give up so little runs. Now, on the other side, you look at Motor City. They've given up 33 runs, but they have scored 65. They have a bigger margin of victory. They have outscored their opponents by 32 through 4 games. That's averaging 8 runs per victory. Contrastly, the other team, Auburn, has beaten their opponents, they have a plus 24. But the runs allowed is that's the big statistic. And here's a high bouncing ball. Pitcher is going to throw to second and could not hold on to it, was Escamilla. And so Everingham is on, first and second. One out, and here's Eric Gilmont. Gilmont, the Braves cleanup hitter. That's in there for a strike, and a nice changeup there by Eric Borboa. Mike Blasky doing the catching today. Defensively for the Firebirds, Hoffman at first, Escamilla at second, Harmon short, Cleve at third. Botorski, as this one's hit the short, they'll go second one. They will not turn the double play, and runners are at first and third. Mike Latola will be the two-out hitter with runners at first and third. The go-ahead run 90 feet away at third base, and he chops one down to third, and this should take care of business for Motor City. They'll tag the runner, ends the inning. No runs, two left. At the end of one inning of play, Motor City and Auburn, no score. This is the 33rd annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. Mike Giuliano, had a chance to have him on my show, swinging for the fences back in the summer. Really enjoyed talking with him, and hopefully we'll be able to maybe someday come back out, do the games at Comerica Park here on APN Sports. We're hoping so. As we go to the top of the second inning, it'll be Rick Schmidt to lead things off, Bob Hoffman, Rich Cleve. So Bottorff in left, Stevenson center, and Schmidt is in right field. We mentioned Blasky and Borboa running out that defensive alignment, in case I forget, in the bottom of the inning for Motor City. The Motor City Firebirds are at the plate. We're in the top of the second inning, scoreless tie. Rick Schmidt, good wheels, creates a lot of havoc when this man gets on the base pass. And he just, looked like a delayed call by our umpire, and that's going to be a strike call, and that will keep the at-bat alive for Rob Wooden, the starting pitcher, the right-hander, in his second inning of work for the Braves. Now ball four. Now the first baseman, Bob Hoffman. I would expect Schmidt to be running here on the first or second pitch, and Wooden anticipates the same thing, throws over there. Down low, 1 ball, no strikes. There he goes. Pitch is taken for a strike. It bounces out in the center field, and he will go nowhere. So a stolen base, the first of the day for the Motor City Firebirds. 1-2 the count after the strike call on Bob Hoffman. And here's a looper, and this ball is going to drop in for a base hit. A runner will not score. They'll be at first and third. Good job of backing up by Rob Wooden, the pitcher, and the batter is going to be Rich Cleve. First pitch and a good cut by the Firebirds' third baseman. No balls and 1 strike on Rich Cleve, with Mike Blasky on deck. First and third occupied. Nobody out here for Motor City in the top of the second inning. Rob Wooden looking for a double play ball and delivers a strike, and it's 0-2 on Cleve. The 2-strike pitch, and Cleve goes the opposite way and fouls it off. On a great but cool night here for baseball. Boy, it was hot last week. We were up in the upper 90s, and now we're down into the 60s this week. Here's a chopper to the shortstop. He bobbles, flip it to second for one, throw it on the first, and they get the double play, 6-4 to 3. The run will score, and that makes it 1-0 in favor of the Motor City Firebirds as number 9 scores from third base. 2 down for Mike Blasky. Mike takes ball 1, outstanding defensive catcher. Team leader on whatever team he is playing on, and trying to extend this second inning. A swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 on the left-handed hitting catcher. Miguel Esteve is on deck, the center fielder for Motor City. They lead it 1-0 top of the second inning, and he swings and wallops one over the head of the second baseman. He will not have a play on it. The third base hit for the Motor City Firebirds belongs to Mike Blasky. He'll get a courtesy runner. That'll be Jim Cuthrell. And now the batter is going to be Motor City center fielder, and Jim is going to swipe second base with ease. So another runner in scoring position in this inning in which Motor City has drawn first blood and leads it 1-0. Pitch to Miguel. Strike called on a pitch that, boy, I'll tell you, that was in the other batter's box. Well, we have our trivia question inning coming up in the 5th inning, and it's Tiger Trivia, Detroit Tiger Trivia, so get your thinking caps on. We'll have that later in the ball game. And strike 3 called, and Miguel just can't believe it, and both those pitches did look a bit outside, though the umpire has a much better look at it. And we go to the bottom of the second inning. The Firebirds 1 and the Braves 0. First pitch called strike. Home half of the second inning. It'll be John Daly to start things off. Then the Auburn shortstop, and then a base hit in the left field. So they've got their second hit of the day. And now the Auburn shortstop will come to the plate. Right-handed hitter, runner at first, nobody out. That runner at first represents the tying run for Auburn. Both teams coming in with records of 3-1. The first pitch is hammered foul and out of play, and it's 0-1. Tony Brashear is on deck. And here's a chopping ball to the shortstop. He knocks it down. Good job. Get one at second, throw to first, and not in time. So that'll go as a fielder's choice. 6-4 on the play. And Tony Brashear takes strike 1 called. Ken Johnston is on deck for the Auburn Braves. Jeff Lowry coming to you from Goodyear Ballpark, home of the Cincinnati Reds, Cleveland Indians during spring training. Bourbeau in his second inning of work in a sinking fastball, and Brashear just simply swung over the top of it. And Tony does a nice job fighting off a tough pitch out on the black of the plate. 2 strikes on the right-handed hitter. And Enrique Bourbeau throws over to first base, the runner back in safely. And now delivers, and it's way inside, and Blasky couldn't get it. That was a tough short hop, and the runner will take second base on the wild pitch. Bottom of the second inning, and a comebacker, and Enrique will field and fire on to first base, and he'll get his man 2 down. Nice play by Enrique Bourbeau, starting pitcher for the Firebirds. 2 down here in the inning, and the batter's Ken Johnston. He bounces one to the shortstop. Charging is Harmon. He drops it, picks it up, fires to first, and he got him. A bang-bang play to retire the side. But no runs in the inning. And at the end of 2 innings of play, Motor City comes to the plate here in the top of the 3rd inning, leading 1-0. This is APN Video and our coverage of the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. All right, the leadoff hitter is going to be Joe Bottorff. Top half of the 3rd inning. A floater is in there for a called strike. Bottorff is a little perplexed at the home plate umpire strike zone here today. He swings and he misses. He goes down on strikes. And that is the first punch out of the day for Rob Wooden. That'll bring up the shortstop. This is Doug Harmon, who had a base hit, an infield hit back in the 1st inning. Firebirds with 1 run. They have a total of 3 hits. Stranded 3 through the first 2 innings of play as we go to the top half of inning number 3 here. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 stranded are the totals for Auburn. And a pop-up to the Auburn shortstop, and he's got it. And just like that, there's 2 down here in the top of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up second baseman Tony Escamilla. He reached on an error back in the 1st inning as the Firebirds bat here in the top of the 3rd inning, and they lead it 1-0. He sends a high fly ball out into left field, and that ball will be caught to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. 4 in a row set down by Rob Wooden, 5 of 6, and we go to the home half of inning number 3. The Firebirds 1, the Auburn Braves 0. Weber will start things off, added to the bottom of the order. 1-0 Firebirds as we play here from Goodyear Baseball Park and Enrique Borboa. And here's a fly ball, shallow center, and no one's going to get to that one, and that's a base hit. Leadoff single for Weber, and now the bat is going to be Mike Borba. First pitch in there for a called strike, 0-1 on Borba. Runner at first base, nobody out. We're in the home half of inning number 3. No balls and 1 strike, and the pitch is hit and slapped to the shortstop. Nice backhanded play by Harmon. They get 1 at second, but the throw goes into the dugout. And that's going to allow Borba to move up into scoring position. It'll be a throwing error, the 2nd error of the day by Tony Escamilla. Very uncharacteristic. And now the Inspector Callahan will dig in for the first time. Terry Callahan now batting with a runner at second and 1 out. Motor City clinging to a bottom half of the 3rd inning 1-run lead. It's 1-0. And a ground ball short. Are they going to go to third? And the throw is a little high, and it looked as if maybe he got the tag down, but they're going to rule safe. So that'll go as a fielder's choice. Callahan reaches first base, and we go back to the top of the order in Pearson. He takes a first pitch strike from the left-hander Enrique Borboa. Home half of the 3rd inning, the tying run sitting 90 feet away at third base. The throw goes over to first, and Callahan back in. Let's see if he's going to take off. Pitch is lined to left field, base hit, and just like that, Pearson driving in the game-tying run with a clean single to left field. Scoring is Borba. And we are tied here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning at 1 run apiece. Now the second baseman, Taylor Wells, singled back in the first inning, was left stranded. Tries to bunt his way aboard, and he's down 0 balls and 2 strikes against the lefty Enrique Borboa. Missed outside. Not a bad pitch selection right there. He's got a little bit of movement away from the right-handed hitter. Talking about Borboa, the pitcher, and try to go maybe out there again. He gets more of the plate, but it's a bouncing ball shortstop. They'll go the short route to second one, and they will get the fielder's choice. So with 2 down, here is Dave Everingham, and he grounds to the shortstop. And I'll tell you, Harmon has been very busy on a bang-bang play at second. That'll retire the side. They get a run to tie things up. And at the end of 3, we got a 1-1 tie from Goodyear Ballpark. This is the 33rd annual MSBL World Series on APN Sports. All right, it'll be Bob Escamilla, Christian Schmidt, and he swings and hits one deep into right field, way back, and the ball's going to be caught. A fine catch out there in right field by Darrell Foster. They got Callahan at first, Wells at second. Our infamous 17 at short. You got Pearson at third, Weber left. Another guy we're not sure about in center, and Foster is in right field. Actually, Pearson is in center field, and we're not sure who our number 10 is. So a fly ball to right field off the bat of Escamilla, and here's Christie. We're missing a couple of numbers. Here's a ground ball down to third, and the throw to first is in time. And there's 2 down here in the inning. Rick Schmidt walked, stole second, and scored. That came in the second inning. We're tied at 1. Playing here in the top of the 4th inning. And here is a chopper to the shortstop, and the throw is not in time. It stays in play. That'll be an infield hit for Rick Schmidt, and you can bet he will probably be going on this pitch. Top of the 4th inning, 1-1 tie. Runner at first base and Rick Schmidt. And a called strike to Bob Hoffman, 0-1. Bob Hoffman had a base hit back in the second inning. He is one of the 4 hits here for Motor City. There goes the runner on the pitch out. And the throwdown will not be in time. The second stolen base of the day for Rick Schmidt, and the count is even at 1-1. 1-1 tie, top of the 4th. 2 out, runner at second base. Let's see if Hoffman can push across the go-ahead run here for Motor City. 2 balls and 1 strike to him. This is the 4th inning of work for Rob Wooden. Three and 1. Well, if Hoffman can find a way to get on base, it'll be Rich Cleve. And that's ball 4. Runners are at first and second, 2 out. Cleve drove in Motor City's first run when he bounced into a 6-4-3 double play back in the second inning. No RBI. And he's quickly behind, 0 balls and 2 strikes. Wooden trying to get out of a 4th inning jam with 2 on and 2 out in the 0-2 pitch. And it's just off the plate. And again, not a bad pitch selection by Rob Wooden. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see if he comes inside now on Cleve, or will he stay outside and try to get him to fish. The 2-strike pitch. And it's swung on and lifted to the second baseman, who makes an outstanding catch to retire the side. Taylor Wells getting the job done. And at the end of 3.5 innings of play, it's Motor City 1, it's Auburn 1. A pair of 3-1 teams as we're coming to you from Goodyear Ballpark. Bottom. All right, we're back at Goodyear Baseball Park, and Don Colbert batting for the first time, so they might be doing a little AB here and didn't let us know. In fact, I didn't even get a starting lineup from the Auburn Braves. It's a 1-1 tie. We're in the home half of the fourth inning. This is the fourth inning of work for the starting pitcher for the Motor City Firebirds out of Detroit, Enrique Borboa. Going up against Colbert. He may pronounce it Colbert, not sure. Remember, there was a pretty good power hitter back in the 70s named Nate Colbert. That is strike three called. A beautiful pitch by Enrique Borboa. And now John Daly comes to the plate. We're in a 1-1 tie. Nobody on here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Well, one of these teams, unless there's a tie, will go to 4-1. They're going to be in the driver's seat. Will probably pretty much clinch a playoff spot. The other team will drop to 3-2 and will have to battle for a win in their final game tomorrow. John Daly had a base hit back in the second inning. We're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's a swing and a drive in the right center field, and he has his second hit of the day. Hit number 5 for the Auburn Braves. First pitch way outside to the Auburn shortstop, ball 1. Next pitch catches the outside corner, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. In this 1-1 tie, 55 and over Cactus Division play. Here's a ground ball to the right side, and they will go to second 1 and get the fielder's choice, and that'll retire the side. At the end of 4 innings of play, we're still tied at 1. We got a good one from Goodyear Ballpark. 5th inning of work coming up here for Rob Wooden. So the first batter up is going to be Jim Cuthrell, batting in the same position of Mike Blasky. Now, I don't know if they're doing an AB or they just decided maybe this time around in the order. Kind of has the look of an AB where 2 men can share the same batting position in the order. For those of you who are just tuning in and may not understand some of the quirky rules, it's a good idea. It's an AB. I've always loved the rule, because it gives you a chance to get extra players in without adding positions to the bottom of the order. I don't think anybody likes. I think one of the things I didn't like when I played, if you got 13 or 14 guys, I mean, it just seems like you're sitting forever. But if you're doing an AB and you want somebody to get 1 or 2 at-bats in, it's a great idea. So Jim will lead things off top of the 5th inning, and it's our trivia question inning. And yeah, kind of in the... This one's inside. Oh, my goodness, a called strike. Wow. Tiger trivia question. Tiger trivia question here at Goodyear Baseball Park. Since 1968, Tigers have won 5 MVPs. And what an at-bat that time as Jim heads down the first with a leadoff walk. And here is the center fielder, Miguel Estevez. 5 5 times since 1968, the Detroit Tigers have had an MVP winner. That's a stolen base. And that is the second stolen base for Jim. Remember, he courtesy run for Mike Blasky back in the second inning. So he's got 2 steals. Rick Schmidt has 2 steals. And let's see if Miguel can come through. Caught looking on strikes on a couple of very questionable calls by our home plate umpire. And Miguel's an outstanding center fielder. Final hitter in the lineup here for Mike Giuliano and Rick Green. And here's a shot knocked down by the second baseman. He's not going to have a play anywhere. And that's going to be an error on the second baseman, Taylor Wells. So the first 2 have reached. The first 2 have reached for the Motor City Firebirds. And now Joe Bottorff, batting for the 3rd time, is 0 for 2. He's the leadoff hitter in the Motor City lineup. And he swings and pops it out of play with runners at first and third and nobody out. No balls, 1 strike on him. 5 players. Check that. 4 players, 5 MVPs. Ground ball short, and they will get the fielder's choice. And very fortunate as Motor City takes the lead, their second lead of the contest, on a fielder's choice RBI ground out by Bottorff. Runner at first base and 1 out for Doug Harmon, the shortstop, who's 1 for 2. Very lucky that Miguel was not called for interference there. Not to say he did, but it could have been. That's inside. Here's the throw down to second, and Joe is in. Joe at good speed, and that is 5 out of 5 in the stolen base department this evening for Motor City. They lead it 2-1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Four players have won the MVP since '68. 1 did it twice. So we'll give you the answer to that probably sometime in the top of the 7th or in the 6th. We'll let you think about it. Let it simmer a little bit, and don't look it up on the internet. And I know Mike Giuliano's got to know this one. Mike's got to know this one, no question about it. Because he knows his Tiger baseball history. Popped up to the first baseman, and somehow Callahan hauls it in. And all smiles. 2 down. And now Tony Escamilla looking for his first hit. He's reached on an error, and he lines one to the shortstop. The only play is at first, and a strong throw, and Callahan dropped the ball. Well, he had to scoop it out. I think that's an infield hit for Escamilla. That's the first hit of the inning for Motor City. And the 4th hit for the Firebirds in this game. And now Bob Escamilla looking for his first hit. And he drills one base hit in the right field. And that's going to produce a run. As the throw goes back to second base, Motor City now leads it 3-1 on an RBI single by Bob Escamilla, scoring Joe Bottorff from third. Well, that's hit number 5. That'll bring up Dean Christie, and he gets plunked. And now the bases are loaded. The courtesy runner is going to be Ron Ellswick. Well, Ron is here. What was I saying earlier? Ron just didn't bring a team this year, the Great Lakes Tigers. I don't think I said he wasn't here. I meant to say he hadn't brought a team out here. So now the bases are loaded for Rick Schmidt, who has walked, singled, scored a run, and has 2 stolen bases. 2 out, top of the 5th inning, and a swing and a line drive base hit out into right center field, and that gets by the outfielder. 1 run is in, 2 runs are going to score. Here comes Christie around third. The throw to the plate is waiting on him. Out, and the side is retired. Well, it's a 2-run single for Rick Schmidt as he continues a perfect day at the plate. A great relay there by the Auburn Braves, but not before 4 runs come across. And we go now to the bottom half of inning number 5 from Goodyear Baseball Park in Goodyear, Arizona. 5-1 in favor of the Motor City Firebirds. This is APNvideo.com. Here's a swing and a drive into left center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. So the leadoff hitter is aboard here, and the batter is going to be Ken Johnston. Pardon me, I just got to make an adjustment to my lineup here. Swing and a miss. Here's a throwdown on a steal attempt, and in safe is Kevin Kranz. This is Rob Erickson batting for the first time. Going to be a lot of changes, I think, in this game. You really earn your keep as a scorekeeper in games like this. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Motor City puts 4 up on the board and leads it 5-1. First 2 have reached. Now against Enrique Borboa. And the first time up for number 3, and that is Steve Cornelius. Foul ball, 0-1. Well, you're down 4, bottom of the order. Do you go ahead and try to lay down a bunt? He slaps one to the shortstop. Should get one there. They'll throw it on the first. And I believe he beat the wrap, and he did. So runners are at first and third. If you're Motor City right here, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think you are going to give up the run if you can get at least one out. There's one out first and third. This is Mark Fowler, 63-year-old, right-handed hitter. Infield looking to turn the double play. Shortstop playing over into the gap, so you would not consider this a double play infield depth. Here's a line drive down the right field line. That's a base hit. The speedy Rick Schmidt does a great job getting over there. 1 run is in. And they will be at second and third. And Fowler drives a double down the line. And it's now 5-2, RBI hit. So runners are at second and third. And the pop-up is foul, backing out of play. Good hustle there. So number 10... So number 10 is now up there. That's Dan Pearson. I was told 40 was Dan Pearson. So got a couple of mistakes with the Auburn roster here. Enrique Borboa. I think Mike, I don't know if he pulled a muscle. He's just trying to stretch out that, looks like that left ankle possibly. Well, they'll give him a few moments. We come back to live action here after the timeout. And Pearson swings and misses. And down he goes, and there's 2 down. Bottom half of the 5th inning, a 5-1 Motor City lead. And now we go back to the top of the order, and the infamous number 40 bouncing one deep in the hole at shortstop, and he's got an infield hit. That'll produce the second run of the inning. So Pearson, we thought he was Pearson. We know he's the center fielder. I guess sometimes you get uniform changes at the last minute, and guess who the last guy is to know? APN Sports. It happens to us all the time. Taylor Wells, the outstanding second baseman. He's played good defensively, even though he does have an error. He's reached on a fielder's choice. He has singled. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. Here's a shot out in the center. Base hit. Another run will score, and, just like that, we got a brand-new ball game. RBI hit for Taylor Wells, and now it's a 5-4 game with Motor City in the field, and the Red Tops leading it by 1. Everingham 0 for 2. He pops it up out of play. He had a big, healthy cut at that one. As we play here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Motor City scored 4 in the top of the fifth. 3 have come across here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It's a 1-run game. Enrique Borboa in his fifth inning of work. Starting pitcher for the Brain Trust, Giuliano and Green. And a real battle right now between the third-place hitter for the Auburn Braves, Everingham, and the left-handed starting pitcher for the Firebirds, Enrique Borboa. So Everingham taking outside, and the count runs full. A 3-run bottom half of the fifth inning has put the Auburn Braves right back in the game. It's 5-4. Runner goes. It's popped up and playable for Enrique Borboa. He takes care of business, and we head to the sixth inning. Motor City clinging to a 5-4 lead on APN. You're watching the 33rd Annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series on the Firebirds Baseball Network. All right, Jeff Lowry back here from the winter home of the Reds and the Indians, Goodyear Baseball Park. First time up for Andy Cohen. He gets jammed and hits it towards the hole, and that ball's going to be knocked down by the second baseman, but not before. Cohen is safe at first base with a base hit, an infield hit. And I'll bring up the third baseman, Rich Cleve, who is looking for his first hit of the day. The totals, Motor City 5 runs, now 7 hits. They have stranded 6. We're not counting errors today. Auburn Braves, 4 runs, 8 hits. They have stranded 8. Firebirds lead at 5-4 here in the top of the sixth inning. Well, I wonder if Mike Giuliano has figured out our trivia question today. We may wait another half inning before we give that. Here's a ball bunted out in front of the plate. Nice play by the Auburn catcher. He's done the job, no doubt about it, Reeves. So a sacrifice for Cleve, and it's going to bring up Mike Blasky for the second time. He's in an A-B situation. He had a base hit back in the second inning. He takes a strike just off the inside corner, and it's no balls and 1 strike on the backstop of the Motor City Firebirds. Also plays for the Great Lakes Tigers. And that's Ron Ellswick's team. Always a good showing of Great Lakes Tigers players each and every year at the World Series. That was not the case this year mainly I think because of the COVID. I think that's the first time I've said the C word since this tournament started on the air. Fly ball, right field. This is a long run, and it's going to be dropped. That ball's dropped in right field, and all runners are going to be safe, and they're at first and third. There'll be an error on the right fielder. Runners are at first and third. Second time Blasky has been on base. And now Miguel, the center fielder, will bat for the third time. He reached on an error back in the fifth inning when the Firebirds scored 4 times. Rob Wooden, he's still out there. Here's the runner taking off for second. The throw beat him, but it goes out into center field, and the run will score. The courtesy runner, Bob Hoffman, scoring from third base on the throwing error. It'll be a stolen base and an E2. 6-4, Motor City. Miguel was caught looking on a strikeout in the second. He reached on an error in the fifth. Joe Bottorff is waiting on deck for Motor City, who has jumped out to a 6-4 lead. And apparently that last pitch was ball 4, so Miguel heads down to first base. And Joe Bottorff will stand in. He squares the bunt, and he will take a strike called. 6-4, we're in the top of the 6th inning. Motor City on top. And here's a ground ball, and the shortstop can't get there, base hit. Coming around third and scoring is Jim Cottrell, and it's now 7-4 Motor City. RBI single by Joe Bottorff, his second RBI of the day. And that'll bring up Doug Harmon, the shortstop, 1 for 3. So a 4-run fifth, a 2-run sixth for Motor City, who is trying to improve to 4 wins and 1 loss with 1 more game to go in round-robin play. But then you can say the same thing about the Auburn Braves. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Rob Wooden still out there. And here's a line drive out into left field, base hit. They're waving the runner home. Here comes Miguel to the plate. There is no throw. An RBI hit for Doug Harmon. He is 2 for 4. His first RBI. It's a 3-run 6th inning. And it's now 8-4 in favor of the Motor City Firebirds. Now Tony Escamilla singled and scored back in the 5th inning. He is 1 for 3. And here's the runner down to third, and he's going to be in safe sliding. Might have to give about a 4.9 on that tumble down there at third base. So Joe is in scoring position, his second stolen base. Well, he's in scoring position at second. And then also give Doug Harmon credit. He's got a stolen base. 5 stolen bases now in total for the Motor City Firebirds as they bat here in the top of the 6th inning. Still only 1 out, second and third, and Tony Escamilla trying to go the other way with it. And that's ball 4. Escamilla is aboard. Bases are loaded. Well, of the 8 runs scored, only 4 of the runs are earned. Actually, only 3 of the runs are earned against Rob Wooden. So maybe a little tighter defense, he might be in a better situation. Well, right now, the Firebirds are in a golden opportunity here. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the pitch is high as Ron Ellswick bats for the first time. Ellswick, the manager of the Great Lakes Tigers, and playing for Motor City, and he went around as Joe Bottorff is going to be caught, and that is a caught stealing, and that is a big timeout for the Auburn Braves. And a swing and a miss, and down goes Ron Ellswick to retire the side. They leave 2 in the inning. They have stranded 8 altogether, but it was another big inning for Motor City. They scored 3 times. And now the Auburn Braves see if they can counter against Enrique Borboa, the left-handed starting pitcher. Here today for Mike Giuliano and Rick Green, we go to the bottom half of inning number 6, and Motor City up now 8-4. Here's a fly ball, base hit in the right field. A leadoff single for Gilmont. That's hit number 9 for the Auburn Braves, and the batter will be Mike Latoya. Latola has grounded out 5-3 and struck out back in the fourth inning. The Braves have stranded 8 runners in total as this one has popped up, and a running catch by Doug Harmon, the shortstop. And now John Daly, who is 2 for 2 at the plate, and he takes the first pitch, and it looked pretty good, but taken for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes on John Daly. A swing and a foul tip at the plate. Mike Blasky still doing the catching here for Motor City. Runner at first with 1 out. Bottom half of the 6th inning, and here's a bomb hit out into left center field, and that ball's going to roll all the way to the wall. 1 run will score easily. That'll make it 8-5, and this should be a 3-base hit. This is John Daly, and he will pull up at third base with an RBI triple. 10th hit of the day for the Auburn Braves comes on a hard-hit triple to the gap in left center field by John Daly. And now the Auburn Braves shortstop and 7th place hitter coming up. He is 0 for 2. Reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. 8-5. So the Firebirds lead cut, and here's a ground ball. Diving play by the shortstop. He's up. He throws. He got him. How about that as Doug Harmon comes up with a Marucci big play of the day. The run will score. That'll cut the deficit to 8-6. But nonetheless, a tremendous play by the Motor City shortstop. 2 down here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And next up is going to be Tony Brashear. And no, he's not the governor of Kentucky. That's Andy Brashear. So 2 runs have come across here as Auburn has cut the lead from 8-4 to 8-6. I'll tell you what, this game has had a lot of suspense so far. This inning capped off by an RBI triple by John Daly. Base hit left field, and Tony Brashear has his 2nd hit of the ball game. 11 hits in total. We get a courtesy runner that will come out, and it looks like Kevin Kranz. First pitch is low, ball 1. Ken batting for the 2nd time. AB at the bottom of the order with Erickson. 2 balls and no strikes to him. Runner goes. Blasky throwing down. It was cut off by Borboa. I don't know if he'd had a chance, really. So a stolen base and the tying run at the plate. And a chopping ball to the shortstop. It played him a bit, but Harmon stays with it and throws him out at first base to retire the side. They get 2, cut it to an 8-6 deficit on APNvideo.com. Well, he goes from shortstop to the pitcher's mound. Our infamous number 17 for the Auburn Braves is a new pitcher. And Dean Christie looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the 5th inning. Coming to you from Goodyear Baseball Park. We mentioned Motor City coming in here. They had scored 65 runs coming in 4 games, averaging 16.3 runs a game with an average margin of victory of 8. Ground ball short, long throw, and perfect, right on time. 1 up, 1 down. Mike Baker gets the throw and the put out from Dave Everingham. Top of the 7th inning here. 2-run lead for the team in red, the Motor City Detroit Firebirds. You're watching the 2020 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. We're in the 55 age group and over Cactus Division. And here's a ball walloped out into right center field, and it's going to get by the center fielder. That ball's going to roll a long ways, and this might be a triple. Here comes Rick Schmidt, and I'll tell you, this guy's had a whale of a game. He's in, safe sliding. with the baseball right underneath him, and that's a long triple to the gap in right center field. He has been on base all 4 times he's been up there, and what a job. A great stop there by Reeves. He's had a great game behind the home plate. So Schmidt with 3 straight hits. He had a walk earlier, ground ball. They're going to come home. Cut off by the third baseman, and the tag is going to be made. So out on a 5-2 fielder's choice. 2 down in the inning for Rich Cleve. Cleve takes ball 1. He is hit into a double play, popped up to short, and has a sacrifice bunt. Firebirds batting here in the top of the 7th, leading it by a score of 8-6. Our trivia question: since 1968, 4 Tigers have won 5 MVPs. Smashed down the first base, knocked down by Baker. He will get to the bag in time to retire the side. So that'll go 3 unassisted, no runs, 1 hit, and nobody left on. And at the end of 6.5 innings of play is Rick Schmidt, now the right fielder. Out in center field is still Miguel. Cleve still patrolling the hot corner. Tony Escamilla, the starting second baseman, still out there. And Borboa is still on the mound. Here's a line smash down the left field line. That's a base hit. This is going to be extra bases as Joe Bottorff tries to get it back in, and here comes the runner to third, and the throw is in time. He's out. He is out. What an outstanding job, as the key there was Bottorff getting the ball back in quickly. And Doug Harmon on the relay, and the tag made by the third baseman, Rich Cleve. 1 down. Here's Borboa. Check that. Borba. This is Mike Borba against Enrique Borboa, who is now in his 7th inning of work as the starting pitcher for the Motor City Firebirds. And Borba draws ball 4. I'm just trying to get caught up on my scoring here. Here's a slap ball right side. That's going to get through. Inspector Callahan is aboard. So the leadoff double out at third, but then a walk, and Callahan with a single, his first hit. He's 1 for 2. And Rick Green is going to make a quick trip to the mound, and let's see if Borboa wants to come out. Yeah, it's a high-scoring game and all, but he's still making quality pitches. And he seems like he's feeling pretty good. All right, here's the Auburn center fielder, our infamous number 40. We got 2 guys out there. We don't have a name or a number, and I don't have an extra person to send down to the dugout. Runners are at first and second, 1 out here in the bottom half of inning number 7. Of course, today's game dedicated to Joe Pistono, and a called strike, who lost his life this year. And I know each and every one of the Motor City Firebirds feels the loss. That's ball 4. And now the bases are loaded and clinging to a 2-run lead. And we got a new pitcher on the mound. It's going to be Dean Christie. So Christie is the second pitcher used here by Giuliano and Rick Green. Christie is also 0 for 3, was hit by a pitch at the plate, and now will come in inheriting the bases loaded. And the first pitch is ball 1 to Taylor Wells, the second baseman. He'll take a strike. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Taylor has singled twice and hit into a fielder's choice. Here's a wave and a miss, and it's 1-2. A good slider that time by Dean Christie. And boy, I'll tell you what, you see the framing, outstanding framing right there, and Blasky thought that was strike 3. Here's a fly ball down the line. That's going to be a foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 1 out. And that one just off the plate. Full count. Tough batter here in Taylor Wells. And he clobbers one into right center field, and Schmidt will not have a play. 1 run will score. They'll go station to station. It's 8-7. First RBI of the day, but the 3rd hit by Taylor Wells, the second baseman. And boy, that relay play, Bottorff to Harmon to Cleve to start this inning on what would have been a leadoff triple, has really playing into effect here. So here's the 0 for 3 third place hitter, and Everingham takes inside a ball. Bases loaded. Motor City clinging to an 8-7 lead, bottom of the 7th inning, and here's a shot out in the center, base hit. 1 run will score to tie the game. Here comes a throw to the plate, and it's not in time. 2-run single for Everingham. And they take the lead 9-8 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Runners will be at first and second. And the batter is Eric Gilmont, the cleanup hitter, who is 1 for 3. And he clobbers one way over the head of Miguel. That's going to plate another run. Boy, he hit that ball a ton. 2 runs are going to score. It's going to be a double. A 2-run double for Eric Gilmont. He is at second base, still only 1 man out. It is a 5-run inning. You see the courtesy runner. That'll make the tally 11-8. A 5-run 7th inning. Auburn has scored 10 runs in their last 3 innings. Is that right? They have scored 10 runs in the last three innings. Now Latoya. And he bounces one to Cleve. That's a fair ball. His throw to first base, and an awful collision over there. And hopefully Latola is going to be all right. Well, he ran into about as solid as of a person as you're going to find in Andy Cohen over there. Runner moves to third. And Daly is going to be walked. First and third occupied, and now the Auburn Braves shortstop batting for now a 4th time, looking for his first hit against Dean Christie, the new pitcher, in for starting pitcher Enrique Borboa. 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Line drive, right field. Schmidt's got it. That's a big out, but a big inning for Auburn. They get 5 big runs. And back here at Goodyear Baseball Park, we got a new ball game and a new score. It's 11-8 in favor of the Auburn Braves. This is the MSBL World Series on APN Video Sports. Jeff Lowry back here from the ballpark. And the first batter is going to be plunked. So Jim heads down. That's the second time he's been on base via a free pass. He had a walk, a run scored back in the 5th inning. And now the center fielder looking for his first hit. He has been on base 2 of the 3 plate appearances here today. He reached on an error in the 5th, walked and scored in the 6th inning. And he takes a first pitch. Looked good, but it was called a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. So now 11-8, Auburn Braves lead it. Miguel with a line drive, left field, dropping quick, and that's a base hit. So first and second, and now Motor City brings to the plate the tying run and manager Rick Green. First pitch in there, a called strike. "12 hits in total now for the Motor City Firebirds as Rick Green. He's not up there with nobody out first and second, not up there bunting. They're playing for the big inning. And I know at the major league level it's a little different. I think that's why the bunt has kind of went away from Major League Baseball. They don't want to get out of a potential big inning as Rick Green strikes out here, caught looking. And we go back to the top of the order. Joe had singled in a run his last time up. He is 1 for 4, but he has 2 RBIs and a run scored, 2 stolen bases. Auburn leads it 11-8 as they are in the field here in the top of the 8th inning. Runners are at first and second with 1 out. Firebirds could use a run here. Our trivia question: 5 Tiger MVPs since 1968, as this one is hit to the right side and fielded by the first baseman, and both runners move up 90 feet into scoring position. Now Doug Harmon. He had a big RBI hit his last time up. He's 2 for 4. First pitch in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Well, the first one happened in that magical 1968 season, as Harmon tries to bring at least 2 runs and at least eat into that 3-run lead. He was the last 30-game winner on a team that won the 1968 World Series championship, the Detroit Tigers, and I'm talking about Denny McClain. Ground ball first, pitcher covering, inning over. They leave 2. And they have stranded 11 runners in total as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the momentum has swung over to the Auburn Braves side. They lead it 11-8. This is APNvideo.com. First pitch is bounced foul, third base side. Kevin Kranz will start things off here for the Auburn Braves as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Another second inning of work for Dean Christie, the right-hander, in relief of Enrique Borboa. He came in the 7th inning, and he's dealing here in the 8th inning. So Denny McClain, as that is a called strike to keep the at-bat alive. 1968, the last 30-game winner. I think he was 31-5 that year. And that is strike 3 called, and Kranz goes down. That's out number 1. Next up for the Auburn Braves is going to be Rob Erickson. Erickson walked all the way back in the 5th inning. Ten hits in total now for the Auburn Braves, and they lead it 11-8 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The next guy to do it, another magical season in Tiger history. Not only did he win the most valuable player, but he won the reliever of the year, and he also won the Cy Young Award. That was in 1984, Willie Hernandez, the outstanding left-handed reliever for that 105-win Tiger team. That is strike 3 called, and a couple of big strikeouts for Christie and Motor City. 2 down. Next up is Steve Cornelius. He hit into a fielder's choice. His courtesy runner came around to score. The next guy, well, you'd have to go all the way to 2011. And I don't know. I know at the time he won the Triple Crown, the pitcher's Triple Crown, leading the league in wins, ERAs, and strikeouts. And I don't know if anyone's done that since, possibly Kershaw. Justin Verlander in 2011. If you don't know the last guy on this list, you have not been watching any Tiger baseball over the last plus decade. That's ball 4, and so Cornelius is aboard with a 2-out walk. And Mark Fowler will bat for the first time for the Auburn Braves. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Of course, I think Verlander's probably destined for Cooperstown. What was the 2012 or 2013, the 2 years he won the MVP? Didn't he hit 355 with 40 homers and 150 RBIs or something? Yeah, it was crazy. Here's a throw down to second. That's a stolen base. Well, not quite out of this inning yet. I'll tell you what, and I think if you ask anybody on this team, you ask Mike Giuliano, Rick Green, Motor City, they blew some big opportunities in this game. They had the bases loaded and 1 out. And then they got, caught stealing at home, between home and third, couple of base running mistakes. I mean, this could be definitely a much closer, if not, the Firebirds could have the lead. This could be a very winnable game for them. Right now, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runner at second and 2 out. And this one is popped up. They trail by 3. Harmon. Basket catch to retire the side. All right, it's now or never. We go to the top of the 9th inning with the Motor City Firebirds. And going up against our infamous number 17. They lead it by a score. They trail by a score of 11-8. And you're watching the 33rd Annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series, and a good start as Tony Escamilla drives a single into left field. Hit number 13 for the Firebirds. Here's Bob Escamilla looking for his second hit. He drove in a run with a single in the 5th, and I don't know if he had a courtesy runner or not, but that person scored. Runner at first, Motor City down by 3 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Runner at first, nobody out. Well, you know the last guy, Miguel Cabrera, first ballot Hall of Famer. Miguel is also second in hits, homers, and RBIs amongst active players. And this one is out of play. Oh, look out. That just about got our camera guy. How about that? The pitch, 2 strikes, and it's inside the 3-2 pitch, ball 4. First and second occupied, and now the tying run comes to the plate. Scheduled hitter is Dean Christie, who did a nice job on the mound in relief, and he is digging in, looking for his first hit of the ball game. He is 0 for 3. He's been hit by a pitch, and they hit him again. The bases are loaded. So Motor City with a golden opportunity on this blustery night for our national pastime. And that's going to be all for today's starting Auburn shortstop and now pitcher, and he's going to give way. Well, we'll see if we can catch the number. Well, number 31, it's got to be Greg Maddox, but instead it's Ken Junkston, and he was coming into this game. He will inherit the bases loaded, nobody out. Auburn leads it 11-8 with the Firebirds at the plate, and the first pitch is a called strike. This is the guy, this is the game right here. You got Rick Schmidt. He has had 2 singles, a triple. He has walked. He grounds it to the right side. It's bobbled. They'll go to second one. There's no way of getting 2. The run will score. That will make it 11-9. Third RBI on the fielder's choice by Rick Schmidt. His third RBI. He had a triple back in the 7th inning, and now the batter is Bob Hoffman. First and third. And here's a chopper down to third. That's a foul ball. Rick Schmidt at first base represents the tying run. Dan Pearson, the third baseman, heading back to his position. The 0-1 pitch, but first to throw over. Schmidt has also stolen 2 bases. He has scored a run. He has driven in 3. He's at first. And he's going again, and the throw down, it goes out into center field. Schmidt is going to be in. He is going to third. He's going to be safe sliding. It's a 2-run inning here in the top of the 9th inning. The courtesy runner, Ron Ellswick, scores, and just like that, it's 11-10. Motor City within 1, and the tying run 90 feet away at third base in Rick Schmidt. Bob Hoffman has singled, walked, hit into a fielder's choice. And here's a high chopper on a drawn-in infield. The shortstop throws to first, got him, and that is 2 down. Boy, what a big-time play by the Auburn shortstop. That is an outstanding play by Everingham. So now it comes down to this. Runner at third, the tying run. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Motor City trailing by 1. Rich Cleve at the plate, and he hits one towards third. It's fielded there. Here's the throw across the infield, and it's in time. They got him. I can't believe Dan Pearson made the play. He was off balance even before he fielded the ball, and somehow, some way, throws on to first base, and the Auburn Braves win it 11-10. The winning pitcher is going to be our number 17, and a tough loss for Enrique Borboa, who went almost 7 innings, and a rude-going performance, but a special thanks to everyone involved, including Joe Bottorff, for setting up today's broadcast. So for our entire crew, Jeff Lowry saying so long from Goodyear.